Tian Hao eyebrows creased and she reached her arm out to Lu Jinian's forehead to feel for whether or not he had a fever. But just as her fingertips touched between his brows, Lu Jinian abruptly snapped out of his daze. He remembered the wound on his back, and without even thinking, he grabbed Tian Hao's wrist. "Who let you in?" Tian Hao was so shocked by Lu Jinian's sudden move, she shivered. With her head raised, she looked at him, who was about to speak. His cold tone of voice became calmer when he said, "Get out of my mansion." When he finished speaking, he ruthlessly flung her hand away and slammed the door shut. Tian Hao instinctively reached out to push the door, but she clumsily slipped, hitting the door frame. Lu Jinian tightened his brows, reaching to grab the door to stop it. He glared at Tian Hao's fingers that were dangerously close to being crushed between the door. His tone of voice had a hint of anger when he spoke next. "I'm telling you to get out of my mansion." With that, Lu Jinian wanted to shut the door again, but he saw that the woman had annoyingly grabbed onto the frame. In the end, he could only grit his teeth and fling the door open. He reached out and clutched Tian Hao's arm. All of a sudden, he picked her up and strode downstairs with a blank expression. "What are you doing?" asked Tian Hao. With those words, Lu Jinian immediately opened the front door, and brutally threw her out. Without even waiting for Tian Hao to respond, the door in front of her slammed shut with a bang. Tian Hao reached out and smacked the door. Not a single sound was heard inside. She turned her head. Through the wide, shining, floor-to-ceiling windows, she saw that Lu Jinian had already strode off upstairs. She pouted before going around the back and entering the mansion through the same floor-to-ceiling window again. Having had her first experience of being kicked out, this time her steps were particularly light. The bedroom door wasn't closed. Lu Jinian was spread on his stomach out on the bed with his head staring out the window at who knows what. Tian Hao carefully tiptoed closer to the large bed. When she drew closer, Lu Jinian realized that something was off. He instinctively turned his head, but before he could clearly see Tian Hao's face, she quickly sat on top of his waist. The sudden weight made Lu Jinian slightly crease his brows. Subconsciously, he reached out to pull Tian Hao off of him, but her somewhat cold hands were one step ahead. Without any warning, she rolled his shirt over him to expose the wound on his back right before her eyes. Lu Jinian stopped abruptly, his arm halfway up, and his entire body stiffened. On his fair back was a giant graze. Since the wound wasn't dealt with sooner, there were some areas that were infected. Especially near the shoulder, which was incredibly red and swollen. Seeing this, Tian Hao's face turned pale white. She bit her bottom lip and asked in a low voice, "Was it when you came to rescue me? Was that when you got injured?"